Hello and welcome to my weekly exhibition series. I've changed my settings a little bit, so now I should be able to draw on the screen here for you and can give you some helpful tips and advices like a rating for each bucket or something like that if it is necessary. That should improve my content even more. But let's see what kind of options we have here on this run. We have the World Traveler's Tristana, the Mono-City card pool with a Flame Spitter and Yordle Explorer, Deathstar Thresh with a Buru Sentinel and Dead Blue Wanderer, and the Disruption Yasuo with Zephyr Sage and Will of Ionia. Let's first take a look at the buckets before we make our final decision here. So Deathstar Thresh is built around Thresh wanting to level up, seeing enemies die or units die in general. Then when he levels up, he pulls out another champion from your deck attacking. And the other champion here would be Ezreal. Ezreal wants you to target enemies with spells, so basically you would get a big pile of removal spells and try to kill your opponents over and over. And this card bucket basically consists of all the removal spells in Shadow Isles and also in Piltover and so on, like Mystic Shot, Unspeakable Horror, Aftershock, Static Shock, Grasp of the Undying, etc., etc. And then you have cards that benefit from you either casting spells like Assembly Bot or from units getting killed like Buru Sentinel, Burgeoning Sentinel, etc. This would be a decent control archetype. It really lacks a little bit the late game to make it work. Like the best non-epic late game card is the Ether Fiend, and you get kind of outvalued against even Dragon decks with the Naked Researcher. But it's a decent archetype. Not what I want to do here today, since I want to mix it up a little bit. We drafted a lot of Shadow Isles control recently. I want to go for one of the other archetypes. Let's take a look at the Yasuo first. Yasuo is a champion that levels up when you stun or recall units. And he then deals damage to them, and level up he strikes them. Actually got the Yasuo skin recently, so I kind of wanted to give him a shot. The problem with this archetype is it has a lot of bad cards in it. Of course, the Noxus half with the Swain doesn't really synergize that well. Swain levels up in the non-combat damage. If you stun something with Yasuo, you deal non-combat damage. And then on level up, he stuns when you deal Nexus damage. So it would also synergize with Yasuo a little bit. But there are just a lot of bad cards, very expensive cards. Windsinger, Yone, Mina. And especially in the Noxus half, you have cards like Guile, Blade's Edge, Apprehend, so that's basically not playable. Even in the Ionia half, you have some weirdos like Inspiring Mentor, but also Notify, Steel Tempest, and God Willow Seedling. So the biggest problem is, what do we do with our deck if we don't draw Yasuo? Also the curve is a little bit weird. But last option would be the World Traveler's Tristana here. So this is the Mono-City archetype around Tristana. Tristana, of course, wants you to play multi-region allies. So we have a lot of cards that synergize with multi-region allies like Bandle Painter giving you one, Bandle City Mayor discounting them, and the Yordle Contraption also giving you multi-region followers. Then Yordle's in Arms is a big payoff card. This is basically the real champion I always tend to say with these Tristana archetypes. You basically just want to get your 4 different allies from regions and give them +4/+4 instead of +2/+2. And then you have a bunch of different multi-region allies, the Kingpin with Noxus, the Poro with Freljord, the Aloof Travelers with PNC, Plane of Terror with Shadow Isles, Graf Grenadier summoning you, another Yordle follower. There's a lot of Yordle followers. And then we have like Yordle Ranger as Demacia. And this is just a typical mid-range deck. You also have the Yordle Explorer. Yordle Explorer recently been rated by Arthur. If you didn't watch the podcast, he was rated at a 9, whereas I only gave it a 4. So that would be a fun opportunity to find out if Yordle Explorer really is that broken or if he's more mid-rangey. So I definitely want to give this a try. And actually I asked in Discord before, what do you want to see? Do you want to see Yasuo or do you want to see Tristana? And the first comment and the second comment both were Tristana. So the Expedition Discord kind of decided that we are going to go for this Tristana here. And let's just jump in. Zephyr Sage is of course also another card I really like. but it's a 6 mana 4/4, so you have to kinda get more value before you do that. So Tristana, I don't like Flame Spitter either, it's just a purely offensive combat trick similar to Weapon Hilt, but it can push in some damage, it can be good in a quick attack, for example, and it's the only combat trick that Bandle City has. Bandle City used to only have transform effects like Minimorph, like the turn a unit into a 3/3. This is the first effect. There, this is our first pick. Let's see what we get here. For our second pick, we have the option between the Challenger Jarvan, the Ancient Evil Thresh, and the Landmark Destruction Xerath. Let's take a look at them first before we make a decision. So Jarvan is what we drafted last time. I just want to quickly go over him. He is basically built around the Challenger mechanic and Vulnerable mechanic. So Challenger allows you to choose the unit blocking you, and we have multiple cards that grant Challenger to units or give Challenger. Lone Duelist would be one of them. The Paladin Spire generates you a Tattered Banner if you have an Elite. And then we have Honored Lord and Gallant Rider, Renekton, and the Jarvan himself benefiting off of these challenging cards. We also have the Cataclysm mechanic, allows you to start off your attack challenging a unit. Siphoning Strike living here, and the Vulnerable mechanic, basically reverse Challenger, also works for all of these challenging effects. This would be the strongest archetype here to pick up, but we just did Jarvan last week, so I don't want to just do this again. That's between the other two, and my big problem with the Ancient Evil Thresh is, and with Shadow Isles, is that I really don't want this archetype to show up in my drafts. And if you look at the cards we would be offered here, Helpless Aristocrat would be okay. First Keeper, okay. Evershade Stalker, rather not. Lonely Toad, rather not. Caretaker could do something. Darkwater Scourge would be terrible. Gluttony would be terrible. Mist's Call, terrible. Darky Shadows, okay-ish. Chronicle of Ruin, Grasp of the Undying. Soul Gorger, Overgrown Snapvine. All of those don't seem like they really fit our deck. And even the Rekindler, this is supposed to be a combo deck where you use your Thresh to pull out your Anivia, and you use Gluttony on your Anivia to summon a Rekindler, and this Rekindler brings back Anivia, and Anivia also leaves behind an egg. So you get 2 Anivias, and you can basically clone her over and over with this. But I think I'm just going to go for the Xerath here, because if you look at this bucket, it's already paired up with Bandle City, so we would see another Bandle City pack immediately. And we want to build around Tristana and around multi-region cards. So if you look here, in this bucket is of course built around Landmark Destruction, it's the name of this bucket. Xerath levels up if you destroyed 4 allied landmarks. Once he's leveled up, you deal 3 to all. Interesting that Rock Hopper is not in here before, but apparently it got changed. I get it now, or I just missed it when I did this list. However, we want these cheap landmarks that are coming with units and then are destroyed, like Rock Hopper and the Combat Twins, giving you a random landmark that costs 2 or less. And if you look at this bucket, it's coming with the Bandle City side, and we get Bomber Twins and Arena Kingpin with it already. Arena Kingpin, one of the big payoffs for going for Tristana, going for multi-region, just basically a mini LeBlanc, and can be very hard to deal with. And this bucket lacks a little bit of a payoff. We have the Safety Inspector for some direct damage. That's not really a real archetype. Arsenal is an epic, and I don't really like this Risen Altar, because this is good when you bring it out, but it can be a little bit slow. Still, from our options, I am going to go for the Xerath here, just to have 2 good buckets to pull from immediately and not be stuck in this Ancient Evil bucket showing up over and over again. It's just something you should avoid, and if you want to win, you should of course go for Demacia and Challenger. But we just did it last time, so here I'm going to go for the Xerath. Okay, now in the top left you see our buckets that we picked up so far, at the bottom our curve as usual, and I'm going to edit the draft a little bit so that there are not as many awkward silences, and then it just immediately jumps to our curve after each pick, and then it should be more fluent in this way. Always trying to improve here. So with this pick we see Landmark Destruction, World Travelers, and sadly the Magus Ascendant over here. Would have hoped for another Bandle City pack to show up, and we don't really want to... We want to give the system a signal here what we want to do. We don't want to be in the Landmark archetypes. This is of course the other Landmark archetype based around Xerath or Quest, and Explosive Minefield is not a card that is playable in Expeditions. It's okay in Constructed if you build your deck full around it with landmarks and stuff, but not really viable in Expeditions, so despite Rockhopper being a good unit, we don't really want that. And I want to try making Tristana work. There has been a Xerath video or 2 Xerath videos on this channel before, and no Tristana. So I'm going to give the system a signal that I want to be in World Travelers. World Squire not really the card I want, because it doesn't work that well with Tristana. You can give her a shield or a spare, but it isn't multi-region, it isn't really progressing our level up. Girdle Contraption, also a card I don't really like because it's slow. If it would be like fast speed or burst speed, it would be a good effect. But of course you can't make a Destroyer Landmark effect burst speed, it would be a little bit broken. And the strongest cards would definitely be the right side. Endless Devout is a great unit. Does this 3-mana 3 already good, and then it comes back as a 5/3 later, so insane value. And Preservarium just a draw 2. So right would be the clear choice, but would put us more into the Xerath direction. And I want to show the system that I want to be in World Travelers here. Okay, and now we see another random pack showing up in the wild pick. Time Lords is the Sicilian build around with predict cards. Careful Preparation is a terrible card. 3 mana, get another copy of a card, basically draw 1. But you have to place a card from your deck and top of your deck for it. It's even -1 card advantage, because you have to play this card first. That's really, really bad. The Time Has Come is okay-ish if you have this predict synergy. If you pay 5 mana just to summon 1 Clockling, that's pretty bad. If you pay 5 mana to summon 2, it's okay. But we won't have a predict build around, so this left side is just not an option for us. It leaves us with middle or right, and I'm not happy with both of these picks. I usually want to build a Tristana deck as very aggressive, so the double 8-drop pick here is not what I'm going to look for. And on the right side I don't really like Octopus. These pranks don't really do anything, they give you information, but you play basically a Wisp, a 0 mana 1/1, and Venomon would be okay, 4 mana 4/3, but just not really what we are trying to do here. I think I'm going to go with the middle pack. I'm not happy about it, because these 2 cards are tried heavy, and this is fine as a finisher, 8 mana 7/7 with Spell Shield, and deals 4 damage, basically decimates, but Mirror Mage is more of a value card. You want this card more in a Darkness deck, where you have a lot of generated cards, and not really in a Tristana aggressive deck. Could also try to make more of these multi-region packs show up by going for the right side here. Might actually not be that bad. Mirror Mage can be powerful, but I'm not sure what actual payoff we have in the Tristana bucket. I think I'm going to go for the right side here, just show the system I want to be in Bandle City, and hopefully it shows me more. Playful Pranks at least has the Grumble Slug, this multi-region, so we should see some options over here, and let's pick this one up. And here we go. Now you see how this works out. If I put this up again, picked up one of each of these buckets, and now it shows us these buckets. So it doesn't really look at your deck, looks at your deck for the wild picks, but in reality it just looks at which buckets you picked up and then shows you those over and over again. So for this pick, we have another World Explorer, definitely a card we are looking for to test out here. And Bandle Commando is just the big build around. having these multi-region old cats over and over again. Tristana doesn't care about different multi-region allies, just multi-region allies in general. Even if you play 4 owl cats, it will level up Tristana. And middle would be okay as well. Unraveled Earth is a good card for Xerath to support. Bomber Twins would be multi-region. And right side would have Minimorph. I'm not a big fan of Minimorph actually. I think it's going too much down on tempo usually. I'm okay with one in a slower control deck. I don't really want it in the aggressive decks. But here, very clear left side pick here. And this is what I was going for, the playful pranks, now showing us the Grumble Slug. We also have the option to pick up some combat tricks over here. Of course, we're not doing the Sundisk stuff, so we don't want to go middle. And don't want to pick up the Buried Sundisk, despite not even being in Shurima. Herald of Magus would also be terrible, 5 mana 4/4, so middle is out. Right side would actually have some good combat tricks, but I don't really want to give the system a signal to be relic trackers. I like the multi-region cards here, and Yordle Squire is a good one drop. We have double Yordle Explorer, so we want to have some Yordle cards. And yeah, I'm happy about this left side. Definitely need some Yordles in arms to make this work, but let's see if we can find them. And here we see the payoff of landmark destruction, so the system really wants to push us into the landmark deck. The arsenal, of course, I think that's the first time I see this in expeditions. This is the big payoff, and also why the constructed landmark decks are able to work. This is just very uninteractive, basically a pantheon, but that keeps growing. And when you destroy another landmark, grant me a random keyword, so whenever you keep going with it, it just keeps getting more random keywords, and it's a really good payoff if you are in this archetype. But sadly we are not, and we will be looking for the left side here. Hidden Pathway, it's not a card I really like anymore, now that it's so expensive. We raid a decent amount of cards with the Bandle Commando, and Yordle Squire, Otherpuss, but still 4 mana draw 2 is not insane, it's okay. And Reflection Yordle, still a very good card, 4 mana 3/5. But not as good as Graf Grenadier. Graf Grenadier also can help you with the region requirements on the Yordles in arms, and Buster Shot just good removal, and we lack good direct removal in both Bandle City and Shurima, so left side it is here for me. And another wild pick coming for us here, and not really one I'm looking for particularly. Dunekeeper I don't really like anymore unless you are in a token deck. It used to be a 2/1 and that was way stronger. Now it's just a 1/2, and the Sand Soldier, if you're not very aggressive, this 2 damage doesn't really matter. Handcraft is an excellent card for mana 3/5 with the attacking Sand Soldier. In the middle we have Pompous Cavalier, one of the worst cards in the game. 3 mana 1/1 double attack, not what you want even with Yordle Explorer and Tristana. Even a 2/1 double attack still dies to even a Death Ray, for example, or to any challenger unit, so I don't think this card works out ever. And Babbling Balladeers is also here in the pack. This would be decent. 3 mana 2/4, summons an old cat or creates an old cat in hand. It can work out. On the right side we have Hourglass. This is actually a really powerful card. Can protect any of your units from removal for just 2 mana. Like the Vengeance to Tristana, you play Hourglass on it. And Unraveled Earth is just helpful for making our Xerath not do something, and draws a card, so it's never terrible. I can see some argument for middle, because if you want to activate Yordles in arms, you want to have Demacia, and our curve is a little bit lackluster around the 3-drop slot. And to be honest, I would pick middle over left here. But Ancient Hourglass has been so good in my runs and has so much utility that I'm going to want to pick up one of these effects here. So one problem with this bucket picking up now is that we have Night Ascendant now showing up, maybe. But it would be another reason to just go in for middle and have the maximum amount of Bandle City cards showing up. I'm still just not a big fan of the Pompous Cavalier at all. I don't know, like, we also have the Bandle City card. No, I'm going to stick with it. Count these 2 cards as support cards. So let's see. And this is just a very clear pick in my opinion. The middle cards don't really synergize with us at all. Like the Yordle Squire Benemone is not really on track with what we're doing. Bandle Gunner Protoporo is also okay, but I don't like either of these cards. Protoporo is just so aggressive. A 1-mana 1/1 would be okay-ish, but not really what I want to play. I would rather have this 2/1 that deals 1 damage as well with the Scrappy Bomb. And Arena Kingpin is just the strongest card out of all of these. Definitely want to pick up the Kingpin. If we look at our graph, that is just a necessity to pick up some more 3-drops here. And this is exactly what the right side offers us. So let's go for that. As you see now, because we picked up so many World Travelers, it's now showing up in the wild pick, despite not being a wild pack. And this one is very interesting again. You are not a Yordle, you are a Poro, you are a Yordle. Interesting. So I'm not in love with either of these packs. How many cards do we have that create other cards? Let's count that. We have the Otterpus, 2 Yordle Squire, Bandle Commando, Benemone, Yordle Contraption, so okayish amount for the Bandle Painter. Don't like a second Otterpus, I would rather have Protoporo than a second Otterpus. Gastbonk would be okay, I really like this combat trick that generates. And the strongest individual cards would be the right side here. This is the very strong 1-drop, 1-mana 3/1. And then the Sandcrafter, 4-mana 3/5. Main problem I have with this is that it doesn't synergize with our double Yordle Explorer, it doesn't synergize with our Tristana at all. So I think I'm just going to go for the left side here. This can be good with Augment, just grows a little bit. If you play 2 graded cards, it goes into 4/3, which is really good. And Protoporo not optimal, but still works for Tristana level up. So left side it is for me here. And perfect pick here, and a very easy one. Was it Mindfield is unplayable, Tricksy Tentacles, also a really terrible card. Just imagine your opponent also playing Battle City, and they play Yordle Squire, their lowest cost card is a tiny spare, they don't play it, the Tricksy Tentacles does nothing forever. A lot of these packs are out, and Contrologist is great. A little bit less good in Shurima, but still okay. Because Shurima has a bunch of terrible cards, as spells, for example Unworthy, and stuff like that. So Control is a little bit lower value than usual, but still high value card. Antenna of Terror is the reason why I didn't go Shadow Eyes in the first place, just because I want to pick up every Antenna of Terror that I can see. I think this is a really good build around, especially with our Yordle Explorers and dealing damage, being aggressive, and helping us work for our Tristana and for our Yordles in Arms. I really hope we still find at least one Yordles in Arms. For our next pick, we have another very obvious option and 2 different ones. Again, World Travelers, if you pick it enough, see 4 times, not even shows up in wild picks. I start with some Shurima. And Skyline would be a decent combat trick. We don't have any combat tricks. We have 1 combat trick so far, but not very good one. The Varium would help us not run out of steam. I also really like Sandswept Tomb as a late game card. Just because you can sometimes run out of steam, your opponent plays like the Dragon deck and beats up all of your little Yordles. Having a Sandswept Tomb afterwards is quite good. But I think I'm just going to stay on theme here. I really want to have a... This is really good to stay on. Like, the problem with this is middle, I don't like Dunekeeper. And right would be quite good. Left would also be quite good. This is a... Like, this whole draft has been really close for me. There was not that many obvious picks. So I think I'll still go for the left side with the Synergy over the Reservarium, but some of these card advantage or late game would be okay if the other supporting cards would be better. Sense is okay, but still highly situational. So it's left for me here. Once again, you see the packs we picked up the most. World Travelers, Landmark Destruction, Playful Pranks showing up in our synergy picks. So it doesn't look at the deck, it looks at the cards you picked up. It doesn't look at the deck, it looks at the buckets you picked up, that's what I mean. And here, this is another very interesting pick. I think I want to avoid another Protoporo. That's not really the card I'm looking for. And Buster Shot is okay. Basically an aftershot, it can't heal, can't damage the Nexus. Middle is probably what I'm going to go for. We need some more late game, and your contraptions is late game, quote unquote. And Bomber Twins is quite nice as another 2-drop. Help Maidens is probably the strongest card here, but it comes with Shell Game, a card I, to be honest, never really played with. But I think it's terrible. Just 5 mana, give a unit elusive this round, and +1/+1. Need like a really big Tristana to make this work, or to be worth it ever. And despite Cape Maidens being the best card here, I'm going to go for middle for the Bomber Twins with the contraption here. Okay, here we go. And another rough Grenadier with some more unplayable cards, question mark. The middle is definitely unplayable, Sandstorm Chimera. You need to be in the Azir archetype, attack a lot, make this 0 mana by turn 5-6 to make it good. Source would be nice, but not with an unplayable card. And I'm questioning how powerful Voice of the Risen is. And this depends, of course. If you have this active, it's really powerful, in my opinion. But the question is, how fast is this active? Our deck, how many multi-region cards do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, quote unquote. 8. So we can level up Tristana if we find her, but if we don't draw Tristana, then this card is also not that strong. Better have another Gruff Grenadier with the Protocol attached to it. I'm going to go for left side here, and this will be the last pick. And for our trade picks, we now see exactly what we wanted to see. Of course, there's the trade bug still going on, so it will never offer you to trade away the Shurima cards. Like, it should technically see that we have Allegiance cards in our deck and don't want the Shurima cards. But that's not how it works. All of these Battle City cards are bugged, in that they always appear in trade picks over other cards. Even if you have like one Shurima card, it doesn't offer a trade for that. Instead, it offers like Gruff Grenadier, for example. And this is another reason why I really don't like drafting Battle City that much, because you just don't get any real trade picks. So for this one, I would rather get rid of Protoporo than Inventive Gemist, but Bandle Commando is just way stronger than Stone Weaving. Stone Weaving basically unplayable. And I want to keep my Allegiance card, so let's go for this swap. So, what can we say about our deck here? We have a decent curve. We don't have that much interaction at all. We have some draw, some support, more removal, combat tricks. I really hope that what we are doing is good enough. I didn't see any of the Bandle City or the Earlison arms, so that's not something we can really pursue. I still hope I find something. What does it mean, our bug destruction mean for our second champions? I'm assuming we will see Tristana, of course, and Xerath. We will see those all the time. And then either the 6 shows up or a Fizz, because I picked up double Landmark Destruction, or 3 Landmark Destruction and 2 Playful Ranks. This means either the Fizz or a 6 shows up. Okay, let's head into the game. Okay, first game here versus Elise, Fizz and Targon. Interesting combination. Elise and Fizz is the Spellslingers archetype, whereas the Targon doesn't really make much sense to me. Maybe they looked for a specific card. Like the Zenith Blade, I can construct it, although they have like very little mastery points despite having Elise Prismatic, maybe like a Half of Champions player. Let's just see what the gameplay is. I'm going to keep my World Explorer, that's my build around, and then I'm just going to go from there. This Targon. If you're wondering about what this is the hand tracking setup. Basically, you can see this card I get in the hand. It was further up. And it's a double trouble. And this is a pretty big high roll, I would say. And this is one of the best 1-drops you can have, and an inventive gemist. And I think I'm just going to not play my Yordle Explorer here. I'm just going to go for Contrologist. Because I want to go Yordle Explorer into Yordle Fire next turn, and this just blocks as well. And Vader is bad, Cloud Stance is bad. Go for the Lightning Rush.
What wondrous
By the way, this
discoveries
Prismatic
await
Bug has been
below.
around for a month now as well.
Easy does it.
A little bit unfortunate,
They got past me.
but let's see what we can do. Of one spell cast. And typically the problem is, if you can answer these in, you just win. But it's not that easy for us.
Let
Go
the
for the Yordle
commerce
Explorer.
commence.
And let's see.
So
Okay.
pretty.
So for example, now we know they have a 1-cost spell in the hand. We're going to symbolize that with this energy and a 1. And let's go for the Yordle Squire, picking up a... I think the spare is always better.
Finders sharers.
And we can attack and trade this for this. It's a 2 for 1. But we have to do
Now
something
back
here,
it
I think.
down.
Can't just sit around and wait for
It's
this
gonna
thing to kill us.
blow.
We have to do something.
Uh-oh.
Back to the defenses eventually. Really unfortunate high roll from the opponent here. When average get a 1.5, 1.
I don't change
What's
fate,
the broker?
but I can see it.
Definitely not a card I'm too afraid of here. I think I'm just going to keep developing with the Bomber Twins and then
Hang
the Hobo.
on. We're rolling.
Getting a Star String, that's not very useful. And we might get more Yordles from the Yordle contraption. We also just want to get attack with this for 1 next turn.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to give it up here. Not sure if that's correct, but
I see it.
I want to get this 4 damage and I want to start doing stuff. I think now I'm just going to cycle the Whirling Sands to still have 4 mana up. And open attack for 4 damage. Nice Shadow, no Nightfall card. Interesting addition, why do you have that? I wonder. It means they have like a Nightfall tech. We draw both our Protoporos, not optimal. Doesn't even allow us to play a Buster Shot. Unfortunate. We're going to run it out. They want to play Lee Sin here, obviously, because they're like cosmetically Sin, but they can't because of the Boiling Sand still around. Huh. That's interesting. So they want to wait to play Lee Sin after I attacked. Actually fine with that.
Let's roll.
I have to do damage, otherwise I don't win in the long run.
No kills, no
I
wins.
have to get these 3 kills. If I play Lee Sin, I'm going to damage it. Maybe this. A Guiding Touch. That messes up the order, but it's not a generated card.
Keep up, keep up.
That's an epic, so pretty good. And we'll just kill that. I think I just summoned my Protopogo here. Now we know they have a spell with cost 3 or less. They have 2 spells in hand now. And guess we play out a Star Spring. No, doesn't do anything. Xerath is interesting here. Doesn't really do anything either. Scared board. Okay. So now they have another spell now, and they're running out of spells now. Unusual to have that many cards that draw spells. Yeah. What do we want to do now? I think I'm starting with the oil contraption, just searching for better stuff to do here. Three. And we get a little bit of a low roll.
Roll him over!
You have to damage this guy, otherwise you're never breaking through him. And now I'm just going to play out my Xerath, I think. This is the attack over here. And yeah, really weird deck they're playing. So a bunch of random value stuff, and the high roll in the early game is what else. But ahead we also drew kinda poorly. Let's start with the telescope here. Let's see if we can find some good cards. Vladimir Rose is high value and can take out whole boards, so I'm going to go for that. This allows us to make our buster shots cheaper. We have a lot of spells in hand.
Good sir, I pulled them from my hand.
Yeah. At least not a super high roll with this guy, but still lucky to get rid of my vulnerable. There was a reason to attack first, but like 2-1 could attack into the 5-2. And I think I'm just going to go for the Bandle painter now. This guy has useless Star Spring.
Gonna be great.
Another Proto Probo. So high roll versus low roll. 3, 6, 8. Still have a lot of spells in here. I think I just take this pass once we drain some mana. Take a look at our deck. How
Hang on,
many
Buzzball.
Hey,
we have left? 2, 3. We're pretty likely to hit this Graph Grenadier. Going to pass for now though. Want to pass back, sure, but really want to be a bit of an elusive to attack. But even if they pass back, I can just play Vladimir Rose next turn. Yeah, really weird matchup. They just attack, I will take the blocks. We can basically counter everything they do here. Because we have a lot of heavy Lightning Rush. Very good card. What are these random cards, man? That's a spell with 3 or less. But what are these random cards? Packs and pets. That's collective support, I guess. Or yeah, I'm just going to recall my guy now to kill this one. Get more value. Another roll of this Proto Probo. This guy of course gets elusive if you are enlightened, so that's why we want to take him out first. The Sentinel guy definitely was a card I accounted for. Also the card I should do. And let's first see if our Legions hits. Random effect first. And it's a high roll for us, finally. This is one of the best ones you can get. Another Sky Shadows, and we hold a Nightfall. That tells us we now need, this is a annoying deck to hand track against. Nightfall cards are this one. And I'm just going to go for the Proto Probo here.
Love the energy. Should I have read?
Nice. Just generate your perfect answers. Move on from there. That's a quick update. I think we are winning, but I'm not sure. It's really close still. I'm going to go for Lopez Telescope again. Charvet minions also. Nice. I don't think this does anything. Let's just go for the minion. And we can go for the Chevrolet Rose after the play unit. Still have 2 spells in hand. What is going on? Why do we have these random Pantheon cards? It's so random. How many spells did they... Are they at 4? Okay. And yeah, let's just make them vulnerable and basically catch all of the good trades here. The Vladimir Rose is just such a strong card. We'll just pass. Good. Okay, so they definitely have some kind of stun. What do I know? I think I'm going to go
floating
you.
crystals.
Like,
Load up.
and then
The chase begins.
you trade into you. You trade into
Plain colors.
you. And I want to do damage here though. This.
You will not hinder my progress for long.
We had keep our isn't the augment units longer to keep alive.
Bounties to claim.
I'll
The augment
sort
units
it.
longer to keep alive. Let's go like this. And see what kind of spells they have. Nothing more we can do. And there wasn't really that much time to play around the Pelka Skate, for example. It's a slow spell, interesting. Steel Tempest. Aha. So the rest dies. And they take a bunch of damage. Interesting card to have here.
Oh no!
And listen, maybe. No, nothing. Okay, burn some mana. But what is the hand if they have nothing for 6 mana? Definitely going to try and kill this. And this unit do if let us.
Hope is on the wind.
Thank you, I guess. You have to make sure to try and kill this. If they buff it, then you have another shot maybe. This is our one biggest way to lose right now. Okay, Bandle Commando. Memory's Cloak. Guess that's a card you can have. This is leveled up.
Let's move.
Sin is at 6. Okay. Still actually just going for the prank first to see what the kind of hand is. I they're not playing cards. Hush and like why what? Oh, he's keeping it for when he draws Lee Sin. Okay. I'm going to make the Hush more expensive. First pass, maybe they play something. Interesting. And I'm going to get the Jordan's Fire
Got this from a side quest.
and to discard my Honey Spare.
This painting gonna be great.
Wait, what was the Nightfall? I still have a Nightfall card maybe hold. Confused. Let's try this again. Okay, there was a Pale Cascade. Now Autobus can take it out. This one's face up. This one's face up. And we have a random card now. A one-cost spell. That's a random card down. Just have to worry about the top deck and about the Hush.
I'm Fizz.
This should be a pretty good open attack.
Celestial power.
And I kinda want to make sure to kill this here. I also want to hook this with a 2-1 for example. Now you up,
Sweet.
you.
I wield true power.
Doesn't really make that much sense. Isn't this the only way we die to this guy? I think it is.
Ready,
Let's do
Hammer?
that. I'm going to play it safe. On top deck another Pale Cascade. I think this is the only way we die. We could have played it even more safe with a 6 attack, but I think we have to force them to block. Sure. Don't care about that. One random card now. Jettison is the one-cost card, obviously.
You lack
Oh,
subtlety.
they drew a Claw of the Evil Dragon.
Back it up.
Do we want to save our mentor? I don't think so. We have hold on to this for better times. need a pretty good top deck to kill us. Like Lee Sin doesn't do it because I don't have a spell. Then you can just refuel. All of these are created, but you don't get the buff badly, but I think it's fine. I played 2 guys. And yeah, it comes down to the top deck. There might be cards that are able to win then here. They need a spell and they need a listen. So if they need like a draw 2, for example. Like a... I'm not sure what even works here. Eh? I'm not going to play anything here. You're still having a lot of good lethal attack. And I draw a spell. Okay. We're taking 3 damage here. And I get the shark. Not that bad.
I'm ready. Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Perfect. Now we can sack our Octopus. And make room for our Graph Grenadier.
Every squad's got a heavy.
Okay, they tap out. Now what we can do is we can obliterate our Sheriff Lariat Rose. Give this to units vulnerable, and then definitely push for lethal next turn. Just to make sure. Long game. So yeah, let's just play all of our spells here. And we go attack, 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 attack.
On the job.
Over here. And if I didn't top deck an insane card, that should be lethal. GG. Weird deck. Very interesting to play against. Basically, I had no idea what looks like. For our trade pick, we have the choice between the Tristana, the Xerath, and as predicted, the 6. Of course, we picked up 3 times Gangplank destruction. And I'm not really sure what the best option is here. Like 6 gives us some interaction, some removal. Tristana is kind of a build around, and another Yordle Explorer. So I think we just have to go left here with the Yordle Explorer at value stuff, but 6 is a legit option. Double Arsenal would have been a 6 Xerath draft, but sadly that didn't happen. I'm just going to... Do we stay with Tristana? It has to be good, right? How many Yordles do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, Yordle, 9, 11, 12. That's also Yordle followers, wow. And we have a lot of Yordlers. But if this card is ever good, it has to be good now. So let's go for the Tristana here. Sadly still no Yordles in arms, but nothing you can do about that. Next game, let's see who we face here. Anivia and Elise and Irgewisch. Here German thing, Irgewisch. Kinda sounds German, but not sure. So, versus Elise Anivia. I don't think I want order plus double Anivia, so might just be a control deck. Anivia has 3 hard buckets now. All of them are a little bit slower for control-y. And Elise is of course the aggressive swarm spider bucket. Doesn't really go well together, probably more of a control deck. I'm going to keep my aggressive craft here, but still going to keep the Buster Shot just in case. And we have 4 different regions with our Bandle Commando hitting. We're never winning a long game against the Freya Shallow Ice control decks, so we have to keep pushing damage here early on. And here we go. Beautiful Tristana. We have no way to block this.
This mama is the beast
This is
mama.
of course in the spider's bucket. It was expected that they have this. So here, I think I'm just going to go for the Kingpin. Oh, second Tristana was interesting. F. Make this a LeBlanc. If we play like a Tyrant Keeper, you can still get in with this. Let's play Tristana out.
Reporting for duty.
The fun card they kept. That might be a kind of Tyrant Keeper. Or
There's
just the Elise
nothing
top
to
deck that came from the
fear.
left. I don't really want my Tristana to be so
On it
much
and
here,
on
so
him.
I'm going to get in my Bandle guy. Cat. Yeah, we have to soft attack, that's unfortunate. I think I just have to block this Spiderling. Two basically
To the
equals
front
3
lines.
here. And our life total or toughness makes it vulnerable to Avalanche. This is Spider stack takes Avalanche. That's interesting then. I'm just going to lead with the Owl Cat and how about this?
Thrumming strings lead the dance.
Fight the Spider deck you have there, my friend. So the Spare.
Got this from a side quest.
And try to take down this Elise. So aggressive Spider deck with Anivia is follow up. Spiders historically has been a good counter to these Bandle swarm decks. Oh, that's actually good. We can flip out the Tristana here.
I got big
Okay,
plans for this.
of course if we have Avalanche we lose, but again Avalanche doesn't make any sense in the deck. Interesting how to play that out. I think I'm going to override my Popo here, or the Tristana level
Are
up.
you ready? Let's take it blasting off! Bye bye, bad guys!
A lot of mana open. We might go for Vengeance or something. Rumble. Okay. Can live with that.
Keep shooting!
And now, no need to attack with the 2-1, but the rest can attack.
Serving leg.
And that's just a lot of damage. Probably want to block here. Just one of them. And we still might lose if they are more, if they now pull out the control tools. But I think we're in a good spot now if they're more spider heavy.
The thread is
That's a block I like to see. Yeah, don't care. Elixir of Iron interesting. This isn't a card that lives in any of the Anivia buckets, more in like a Braum bucket. They might have more combat tricks than I expected at first. Let's see. Is Xerath being useless? Field being kinda useless. Or Yordle Explorer. That is a Yordle, yes. So the Anivia will just stun her, I think. Can go Yordle Explorer, Tristana, Owlcat, or stun. That should be pretty powerful. Elise is dead.
Forever watchful.
Yeah, let's just... Oh, it stuns the strongest. It stuns this guy. Okay, I'm still going to develop here, because they have to attack now.
Travel is, of course, its own reward.
I just I pass back, and it doesn't develop in my turn.
I bring the storm.
Interesting. I think I don't care about this card much.
Defensive stance!
Rend the sky.
This guy does anyways, so we can just block here.
Party member down!
And let's go for another Tristana
Firepower solves everything!
into our Owlcat. This would be good if you have the board space, but I think I'm going to open attack here. Do I have to open attack? So afraid of like a random... But Harsh Winds would also get us. What does this even block? Harsh Winds and kill my Tristana would be my biggest fear. And They played such a strong spider opening, they can't have everything. That's my point.
Proud and loud.
They have nothing, they have to double block here, but they certainly have like a harsh, they just have it immediately. So. Wow.
I will endure.
Wow. What am I supposed to say? What? You don't have it. Okay. Now let's look for me. I'm alive. Can't also do this one. It's my skill.
Lovely day for a battle.
I'm just going to run out Xerath here, doesn't really do anything.
Nothing will stand in my way.
And I will probably try to clear some stuff, otherwise I just lose. Risen Altar, nice. Just the card you wanted. Fading memories.
I should look in the mirror more often. Yep, we still got it.
Okay. This is a perfect example for passing. I played in
Everyone's a garden.
Oh, I'm at 6. How did that happen? 5, 4, 3, 1. Pretty close.
Every soul trembles as it is woven.
I have to attack here. Pretty close.
Spinning.
Oh my god, that's a nice series of cards as well. Oh, there's Fizz, so I have to kill it anyways.
You will not hinder my progress, fool.
Oh, shuffle buttons.
Need this to hit.
Be fuzzy and carry a big
Nice.
gun.
I think you have enough impact already. Just end this. Need like a really good card here to survive. So how do we order this? I think
I am in the right place.
Tristana. If they block like this. Another ally, so it doesn't work on himself. Should be good. If they have 1 damage ping, an ice shard for example, that kills us. I think we can do that. And the impact should kill them. Yes! Very close. Cool get back from our opponent. Compliment. Not it's always that consistent.
Bandle gunners do.
Okay, for our trade pick, this is very interesting. We could go get rid of our Vladimir for Yonder Explorer. Something I would like, but our curve is quite a lot of 2-drops right now. I want to get rid of my Grenadier. And one Shaped Storm would also be useful, but that would make our legions even worse. I think I'm just going to go for the Yonder Explorer upgrade. But I don't have enough gems or coins right now to make him prismatic. Definitely putting in the work. If it's got 7 wins, I will make him prismatic. Promise it right here, right now. And the City Mirror match comes next. Kennen Rumble. Glory in Value and Foxy Ninjas or Slice and Dice. So a little bit more value oriented. Definitely keeping the Bandle Commando. I don't think we need the Hourglass. For Copper will also be interesting. Maybe Buster Shot. Go with this. Rumble will be tough for us to deal with. Just have to kind of outrace him, I guess. No 1 drop for us.
Looking for a hero for my hero.
Partner kept.
Ready, Hammer?
Let's just get our value going with the Owlcat
You
here.
best believe I don't play.
Consologist is next. He's doing quite well. What you want to do with Rumble?
Let us
Just
take a
generate a
peek
bunch
at
of
life
cards to
beneath
discard.
the waves.
I really annoying how this is going away now. Like it usually sticks out, but sometimes it just bugs out and doesn't show anymore. In hand. Okay, next time we can play Tristana and then just start going wide.
I'm ready!
Blocking.
Locked, loaded, and ready to rock it!
There's no Bandle way to kill out Tristana here.
Finder Sharon!
Okay. Quite a lot of cards to discard now. Really good Rumble curve. So here, they want to play Rumble. That's why I've saved up my Rockhopper.
Sands
And
beneath
now
me,
I
and
can't
winds
play
behind
Rumble
me.
into my Rolling Sands. That's why I wanted to keep it.
Why, hello
Not a
there,
possibility.
little O. You are quite slightly.
A little bit confused by how many cards they have in their hand. There's the top deck cards. Rank, top deck card, Squire, card, spell, card. So they only have 4 real cards in their hand. And here, I think our best course option is just to play a Grumble Slug. Buffs up both of our units. And sure, I just created this card. Pretty good card to create, much basically little options in one of anything. So you will always get a 1 damage spell here. And I think I'm just going to attack. Do you want to challenge this or something? I don't think I do. Just let him make a mistake if I want. Fine. Getting our value. We have delayed run. Like I said, this is just very value oriented from my opponent. Just the 3 real cards.
Astounding curiosities
Really
lie
important against
ahead.
Bandle to keep track of how many random generated cards they have. With this open attack, I'm going to double block this time, but they probably are going to play Rumble, discarding like these 3 cards.
Baby, don't fail me now. Come on, baby.
But we at least delayed it for 1 turn. Now we have to kinda apply our pressure. Like this is just a race who can kill each other faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. And play all of those out. I block these small guys.
Full throttle.
No backing down! Winners don't duck!
Spraying and praying.
Nothing stupid. I'm going to block with my Bandle Commander. A lot of damage, but come on! Double Rumble draw. Sure. Sure. And City doesn't have any combat tricks except for this one.
Oh dear!
Yeah, that's quite stupid.
Research!
So
Be
up in here.
fuzzy and carry a big gun.
Basically, I have to force him to block here, but it's enough for Tristana that it will be hard. These 2 cards are just useless. As usual with the battle contraptions. So, start off with Consologist. Not really helpful.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
Love the energy.
Yeah, we just have to develop, have to attack. And I don't know, try to take down this Rumble somehow. We'll just have that. Interesting.
Harpoon charged and ready.
Aw, shuffle buttons.
Got this from a side
This is
quest.
like an insane deck. This is the best Rumble deck I've ever seen. For sure. Triple Girl Squire, that's so insane. You have to attack though.
I'll sort it.
You don't attack.
Hey, what's
This is
the
such a
thing?
stupid block. Come on, I just complimented you. I could have the same card you just played with me. Oh, this is such a stupid block. Come on, man. Such a stupid block. I also have like Shurima, so I could have like +2/+0 with the Absolver, Shaped Stone. I guess it didn't summon it. It did summon a landmark. This block was just bad. We have one card in hand, we can survive this turn, and then refuel our board. With an open attack we kill those two with the Bouncing Bomb. Opponent is kind of not here. Show you that I can draw on the screen. We know this card is this guy, this card is this guy. Maybe they just left to get a free win. Not like that, but is what it is. So Rumble is going to deal 1 damage next turn. We'll play 2 more impact guys when we die. But not sure if he's roping us or just disconnect. We died to a lot of stuff here. We have to get lucky to not die. We just like literally AFK'd. I will pass back and it's my turn. Ah, sad. Sad for such a close game to end this way. That's really sad. Okay, I said this is the best Rumble deck I've seen, so I would have liked if they won. Nothing I can do with the disconnect. If they time out 3 times in a row, the game's over and they automatically concede. Or not. And this wiki is incorrect. I looked it up. In the 4th time they should concede. Maybe they came back. Why is the timer so long all of a sudden? Huh. Like what I read is that it's 45, then 15, and then if you time out 3 times in a row, then it's... Now they should concede, right? What? How does this work?
Of course, expeditions lead to acquisitions.
Maybe it's 3 times in a row in a turn. So yeah, unfortunate ending, but what can I do about it? As for our trade pick, this is a pretty clear pick. Like, the Mega Inferno Bomb is just unplayable, and this is just an avalanche for 2 mana or for 7 mana, and that's just not really what you want at all. So Xerath in 6 are sadly out, and we just go for more Tristana, full Tristana build around with the Contrologist and 10 of Terror. New opponent has been found. Super Swayed with the Karma and Braum. Maybe it's the Lab of Legends encounter, PvC encounter. And Karma Braum could be Battle Scars, then we have like Avalanches and stuff, could be Poros. Karma is just usually random stuff, Elusives, or the Enlightenment Ramp Bucket. I'm going to keep my Poro, but look for better early game cards. They keep 4 cards, that's scary. I'm just going to curve out here with the other pieces. Because this gets buffed with Tristana later on. I kinda want to Trank, but it's really not a good idea. And yeah, let's just curve out here. Really afraid of these 4 cards they kept. We will find out soonish if they are ramp elusives. Seems like ramps. Low damage output here, but the value, and then Tristana survives an avalanche. And we have a Risen altar for our late game. I'm going to take this pass and then play my units.
Alright, furballs, attention!
What are these passes? Keep 3 cards and then this has to be an avalanche, right? I'm confused. Okay. Oh, they just have nothing. It's so confusing.
Serving land?
No idea what's going on. They have no playable card or what? They keep 4 cards and have no playable card. What? What's going on? They're just letting me win.
Ionia speaks through
They
me.
keep Karma and Brookner if they kept Braum. But what's going on here? How do you keep 3 cards and nothing playable before turn 3? So we level up Tristana here and attack. What else am I supposed to do?
I'm Tristana, and I take point!
Might as well prank here. Uska the Ancient. This one is kept. They kept a combat trick in their hand. It pranks. And next turn they get a Karma spell and a Draw. You want to play anything else?
Let's
think
just
so.
do a frontal assault. That always works.
Yeah, exactly. Still so confused about them keeping all of these cards.
Loud and loud.
Oh, it doesn't matter here. They have to block Tristana if they have nothing. If they have something, they still block
force
Tristana.
of will.
They still die, so I need like a harsh wince. Yeah, that is not enough, my friend. Even the Karma emote. They kept a flash freeze. And he wins. Still dead. Good game. So don't be like opponent and keep 3 spells the Karma versus an aggressive entity deck. Not sure what to say about that game though. Our trade pick, once again, trade bug coming through. Wants us to trade away Tristana, that's our whole build around, for Akshan. Buster Shot for a useless card. Basically what happens with this trade bug is it doesn't know what Bandle City is in, which buckets, I don't know how it exactly works. Basically it thinks every Bandle City card, every card from the new expansions is wrong in your buckets and should be traded away. And the only other cards they see here are Shurima cards. So they are like, you definitely want to be Shurima, right? Let's have some Shurima champions. Yeah, this just means you don't get any trades if you pick new champions. Next game versus Raiding Party. Gangplank, Sejuani. Either 2-2 split or 3 Sejuani. And yeah, like other posts just to prevent this for turn 1 plunder if they have it. And his hand is not terrible. Only mulligan the 10 of terror, but the rest is good. So the most important thing here is to not allow them to plunder. They ever level up Gangplank Sejuani, we lose.
Let's get
Like this is the one guy that can't be prevented from plundering. Insane. Yeah, nothing we can do. So
Fingers
this is the
on
perfect
the
one
trigger.
drop for the deck. And it's like not likely to have it, but still unfortunate. They are on the play, not on the draw. Yeah, I'm going to run out my other post here. The reason for that is because I don't want it to be parlied next turn or make it rained. They're actually going to cake Trixie Tentacles, I think. I won't have any direct removal stuff for my units. where we shake. This deck doesn't generate any cards, so Tricky Head deck is
Let us
actually
take a
decent.
peek at life beneath the waves.
Because they might nap, but also got real. Warning shot, are you serious?
Ye
Are you
stop
serious?
without me.
What is this? It's an insane start, it's like a constructed level start. I wish I would have played better.
Lucky you. I'm the last thing you'll see.
What is this draw, man? Insane. So I guess we just have to hope they don't draw Sejuani and Gangplank. Finally, a non-constructed level card. Again, I wish I have played this Octopus now. I didn't think they would be that aggressive. Normally they play more like a mid-range deck, not like an all-in one-drop aggro deck. Guess I'm just playing my... Oh, I have a Pro in hand. That would be terrible. I'm just playing the Octopus now. Tristana doesn't do anything, this doesn't do anything. Have to play the Pro here, and then you can play our Copper. Top is not the Challenger Pogo. Use the Pogo is even better. Oh.
Would you look at this place?
I'll be quick.
Once again, this has to be a race. I think I'm actually just going to look at my opponent's hand here. See, Parley. I played around it. My god. I'm just going to prevent them from having this turn. Oh, they changed the wording. Recall any follower into your hand. It's now counting as a recall. Interesting. But I don't have the champions. I'm just going to play out my Tristana here.
Firepower
Don't have
solves
champions.
everything.
I go for Parley here. I can save my Rock Hopper with my Hourglass. I prevent the level up. This has to be the highest priority each time. And this has no good attacks. This is the big Lulu card. Can't prevent them from plundering.
You won't feel it at first.
The double elusive, that is a brutal. Need to do a double early contraption. Nice.
This painting, gonna be great.
Might put this into the hand.
It's a fine
What is
day
this
for
deck?
murder.
Bye.
Still to go round, boss.
I guess this is an archetype, but it's not the Gangplank archetype at all. Okay, they got me good. Well. We have to attack here. We can refuel afterwards, but we have to attack.
Playing colors.
Otherwise we just use the elusives. And top deck. Fast spell.
You poor thing.
This is so bad. Will you play this? Okay. Nice. Well, see what the... Oh, it shows. Nice. Strong arm. Go on. A little bit our opponent here.
Oh,
Can't steer.
Interesting. That's a card that costs less than 6, but I don't play it.
Be fuzzy and carry a big gun.
That's nice. Okay, let's hope they don't just top deck Sejuani now. Otherwise we lose. If they just attack this.
Fight for your lives! Bow to no one.
Take notes if you want to go 7 wins. Sure. Oh, that's so stupid, I can't even get out by that. played around it
Open
with
wide,
the
sugar.
line them up.
Stand and fight.
Now we're exactly dead. Okay. You get my applause, opponent. That was a good series of draws. And block. Well. Nice.
Keep shooting.
So I think this was a super close game. They had one more turn before. If he had one more turn before they draw the Sejuani, then we would have easily won this. Not easily, but probably. If I drew the Sejuani earlier, we would have discarded with our spell, or had at least a 50-50 chance to discard it. Like if the turns were reversed, if they first do Sejuani and then line him up. So I think this was super close. But it's just like sometimes some games are just like not winnable. This one was probably one of them. More Arena Kingpins, I like that. Should have one more Buster Shot, but we have Tristana now, so that seems fine. See who we have to fight now for redemption. Fizz, Lulu. So Bandle City and support. I wish I had my thing deck, my spell back here. Fizz and Lulu. It's not Lulu. I'm going to keep my other puss and other controller chest. And this is good curve. Okay. Playful pranks, pretty obvious. See if they want to trade. Normally they don't want to trade because they have young witches. Okay, seems like a misplay. Play a support deck. We don't play a prank deck. Are you going to prank me? No. Reason I'm not going to prank here because I don't have to prank before turn.
My master showed me our greatest
Maiden
technique.
Warrior with Fury. I just want to get this going, much this into this is let's go Contrologist. I want to take 3 damage here if not necessary. This is why Shurima is not that good. Arise, magic possibilities, but cards
Let us
are
take a
hard to
peek
find
at
here.
life beneath the waves.
And I'm just going to trade. I want to trade. Attack
Deep
there.
breath now.
Don't attack with Tristana, so attacking here first is correct.
I haven't studied this.
So if you play a combat trick, I have Cloud Stance. I don't think they have a combat trick, but like, if you want, I can just trade. Sure. 3 mana for my root that gave me another Cloud Stance.
Oh dear.
Should check a little bit.
Firepower
This
solves
is it one
everything.
now.
Gather up.
So this turn we have to play our prank because we want the that's a good roll. Because we have to have the Tend of Terror active. See a Quicken and Woodland here. That's going to make Quicken more expensive.
Sing with the darkness in your heart.
Exactly. Down, fade. It's up. It's up.
On the job.
They are afraid. They don't know.
Big
Just going to
old
trade here.
Rex.
We have more.
I ain't done.
And yeah, let's just develop with Tristana here. Should have done it the other way around, I guess. But because this way our 4-1 gets double impact. As before, our 2-1 would get double impact.
I study. Spinning cycle to blades form. Blasting off.
Yeah, Tristana pretty strong. Oh, this guy gets it. Nice. Ah, because of the summon effect. Yeah, that makes sense. Because before this guy's actually hitting the battlefield, he summons this guy, and this guy triggers the stun level up, and then it gives the 10 of Terror double impact. Actually, this card. And it is annoying to hand track. And they're in a terrible position right now. They spend their time doing basically nothing. Darkness. Yeah, they're still going to hit you for a million damage. So absurd. 16 damage. Yeah, Tristana pretty good. Yeah, Misrael was right, and Tristana is just a very good champion. What would these two cards have to be to... A Fizz, Lulu. Exactly something more aggressive. This is more like a Kennen style. They have Woodland Keeper and Tornado Warrior and stuff.
Tornado escape! I hope. The tornado obeys!
I actually really like the voice of this guy. Or girl.
I'm the wrong way?
Spin the wrong way. Actually go Cloud Stance on this guy and play him again next time. Moan. Okay, I don't have a good blocker for this yet, so I'm just going to play a Rock Hopper
If it's made of sand, I can ride it.
and prank all day long. Sonic Wave. Can I take them at the Tristana here? Interesting. Just going to run against Xerath. And
I
Evil
will
6.
bring the power from the desert.
Oh yeah, they have one card. Did we do it? Did we win? Here we go. Yordles, Boros, Rockhoppers. Ascended. Ascended. Aha! You see it in my hand. I can counter this. Aha! Nice. GG opponent. We recover from this same Sejuani game.
Observe power in its purest form.
As for this trade pick, I don't want to get rid of my second Buster Shot. I like having one of those. And I guess I'm just doing this bottom trade. Like Waterpuss doesn't really make much sense in our deck. And Recurrent Bruiser is a really good card. Execution's a little bit worse, but happy to get rid of this Waterpuss. Okay, quick interlude. Let's open up our prismatic chest. Maybe we get a Yordle Explorer. Yordle Explorer! Sad. I guess the most playable one is the Woodland Keeper, but it doesn't have a prismatic border. Missile Guard. This is never playable. And while we edit, let's turn some of our Yordle friends prismatic and put in the work. Yordle Explorer. Welcome to the club. And I also want to get the summon guy. Where is he? 10 of Terror. And even Yordle Contraption, that we have nice and prismatic Yordles. Would also turn the Yordles in Arms prismatic. Sadly we didn't see any. Not today, maybe another run. Okay, next game. And next game is versus Hello Sun, playing 3 regions. Vladimir, Braum with Kalista Splash. That's actually making a lot of sense to me, because typical Vladimir Braum Battlescar decks lack, they don't really lack late game, but it would make sense for me to include Shadow Eyes into it. And Battlescars is quite a tough archetype because it has a lot of AoE, a lot of all your stuff. I like this hand, but I kinda don't. Low. Do it like this. We attack on 2. Kinda want to just start up my Yordle Explorers. Is Yordle Explorer a good card? Let's find out. Looking forward to all of these just being destroyed by. Just bank. Okay, just bank.
I found my family, my bloodkin.
Okay, Yordle Explorers, let's go. I'm so prepared to lose to an avalanche, but I have to do it.
Let the commerce commence.
I'm just going to lose to an avalanche here, but... Here it goes. Avalanche. Nice. A little bit of an early GG opponent, but... Yeah, I still don't think Yordle Explorer is good.
Yes, Mama is a beast, Mama.
Still going to win this. We'll have a good chance. It's like a 50-50. Don't know why he's GGing me. It's a little bit rude.
Proud and loud.
No, I couldn't even showcase it. This would have been the Crimson follower. But wait.
I learned my scars.
That's a pretty good draw. Oh, that was fun. I'm just going to play my blocker.
Steal from the rich and give to the us.
Ah,
We'll take what we need to
I don't know why you
survive.
teach me here. You just have random shitty stuff.
Moonfang smells
That's a
blood.
little bit rude.
It's nothing
What is
personal.
this attack? Man.
For real?
Transfusion.
This'll look great on my mantle.
Friend. Well played indeed. What? That's not worth it at all. Do you ever think these random dudes are going to take the game against infinite outcomes? What's going on here?
Firepower solves everything.
We're still playing Bandle City. Still OP. Don't forget that. We play a guy here. Don't care about that.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead.
I'm a little bit focused now.
On it and
Win
on
this
'em.
now. DMing us. I don't know why he has Shadow Eyes though. That's the random part about this. Just open attack to block everything. Well, that's a good draw, my friend. That's a very good top deck. Not that helpful. But if you draw this curve with an avalanche to back it up, I guess you deserve to win.
I'll prove myself to the War Mother.
You can learn how to not drag out the cards.
Winners don't duck.
And we're still winning this, by the way. If you were wondering.
Persistence is key.
love the energy. Should I have read? Blasting off! Bye-bye, bad guys!
Let's then have a second avalanche.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
Watch them have a second avalanche.
You must teach me when you have time.
I'll think about it.
Did I move?
It's good to be the king.
I always catch my prey.
0 mana, so we can just play this out.
Proud and loud.
Gunners, form up!
This deals 4 damage next turn. I think I'm okay losing those, am I? This just gets the free block on here. This is 16 damage, so I'll have to jump block here.
A bad plan is better than no plan.
I think I'm going to go for the attack. See what they have. Get another
You better
metal
bleed.
guy anyways. Chances are we have to block one of these on the left side. And then just goes it below.
My flail.
Ah, that's fine.
What's up?
My brain.
Final brush stroke.
I need like a combat trick now to win. Basically. One answer to the stunner, but they blew the one answer away before. We need like another overwhelm unit. We need Vladimir.
Kneel before me.
So do we die to that?
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
Pretty much, right? It's a little bit too late. Well, but if we didn't have the Vladimir here, we just had like more random dudes, you would have still won this. So still an early GG for my opponent. So shut up. Annoying dude.
Ah, noodle flakes!
I knew that I had the avalanche, but I just had to do it. There was no choice. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of my Risen Altar to get a Rite of Calling. It seems more useful than a card that's literally unplayable. This. Okay, next game. Akshan and LeBlanc. Interesting combination. We have no real way to kill Akshan. This will come down to a race once more. And this is a pretty good hand to raise. Probably not the 10 of Terror because you don't generate anything. Oh, this is a good hand. Might still lose, but lose. For the sentence. I'm just going to curve out here. Probably now they want to play the Akshan turn 2. Didn't quite see what they mulliganed. But good curve. Do we want to attack or not? I think we want to attack. We want to play Akshan here and I shape stone on him, so this is just 2 free damage. I really want to get my Wild Explorer.
Scores to settle,
Protected.
crooks to kill. You know how it is.
Right on time. How good is your Wild Explorer?
Villains beware.
Just have to be proactive. You can't really play around anything. You have to just run out of stuff. They have a siphoning strike. They have a siphoning strike. Just have to. layout stuff here. This is so much,
Every squad
so many
got a
stats.
heavy.
You just have to do it. They have a siphoning strike, they have a siphoning strike, they have a boomerang blade even.
They told me to
nothing.
keep this one, but I like you.
I got an
Yes, it's a
idea.
better deck, but I don't want to give them the free action block. I guess I just go like this.
It's not a fake.
11, nice. They don't really have combat mechanisms. And the biggest one they have is Reckoning. They're going to play on an epic. They have that, they have that. I'm just going to try to kill Akshan next turn if they let me. +1/+1 makes it a little bit harder to kill him. Oh, Hourglass.
This is justice.
This is why I like Hourglass. Can Whirling Death now, but we tried. You can go double Tristana. Is it even good? I think so. Let's just pass for now. They still have to play cards. Let's see what they do. And this goes for it.
Justice works fast.
Uncalled for.
You cannot run from absolution.
Now they have a Relic of Power in hand they want to use first. I didn't see this grappling hook coming, except just would develop. Maybe we just the cards here. I don't want to give them information now, what they should search for. Annoying. For the damage.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead.
Let's first run out our
Are you
combat twins.
ready? Let's take it for
Makes
a
us attack
spin.
better. And if they invest all the mana siphoning strike. Okay, why in that? I think we can now kill them, I'm not sure. Find out. Now we just attack everything. They have to block these two. Otherwise they die for sure.
someplace.
Doesn't work out. They might think it works out, but it doesn't work out because of my fusions on their healing. So GG. Okay. That's the race. But we won the race.
That's the way
Not a
the
big story.
Bandle gunners do.
Okay, we are heading into the final battle. Let's take a look at our deck first. We would like some more interaction. By the way, I still have one Buster Shot. It's a little bit incorrect here. Okay, so we're heading into the final battle. Let's just see our deck first. We have a lot of 2-drops, but that's fine. Would like some more interaction, if possible, some more late game cards. And the first trade we get here is just perfect because it allows us to trade away Rite of Calling for 10 of Terror, which is just an excellent card in our deck. Oh, I wouldn't be opposed to a Siphoning Strike if you ask me like that, but for Arena Kingpin, that's a pretty harsh trade. I think it's still good, we need some interaction. And yeah, 6. And this is just a very strong card I have. Oh, This is a trade. Oh! You have your orders in arms. Welcome to the club, my friend. Easiest trade of my life. Easiest trade of my life. Okay, also a pretty good trade. No, Pogo Slate is so good. The Orders in Arms is probably better. And the Spirit Fire. And this terrain doesn't serve any purpose anymore. Let's just get rid of it. Never expect this Spirit Fire out of a Tristana deck. And that's our final deck. Let's head into the final battle. See you there. Let's give our Yordles in Arms a little bit of motivation to show up. Welcome to the Prismatic Club. Final battle versus Let Me Catch You 21. Not sure if I want to be caught. And playing Riven and Darius and Viktor. So Augmented Assault, really strong archetype. I'm going to mulligan this, keep the other cards here. But this is a really strong archetype. If we beat this, don't be surprised. Let's try our best. This is just very aggressive units. Curve.
Just serve the greater good.
Reforge. We have one answer for Reforge. We need to build up a card that's big enough. I'm going to go for the Bandle Commando here over the Contrologist.
Baddies beware, Mama's got a gun.
Also this damage. House Spider is interesting. This might be a Elite? No.
Let's cook 'em.
What does this card live? Confusing me. I'm going to block with my Bandle Commando here if they open attack. Otherwise I'm going to run out Battle Explorer, for example.
It's my time.
Spraying and praying.
Okay, combat trick here. I can't take infinite damage against a Darius deck.
Let the commerce commence. Exalt me like the god I am!
Interesting. Didn't expect an elusive to come out. I guess this card makes sense with Viktor, just not a card I usually see in decks this late. What's better, second Yordle Explorer or Tristana? I guess it's Tristana.
Locked, loaded, and ready to rock it.
We can play our Hungry Owl Cat. I'd play out the Viktor, but I didn't keep up mana.
I hope that was mod.
Tristana gets an attack in. Misty Shot as well. Oh, that's a good deck. That's a good deck. Definitely favor.
Not the shiny things.
Let's see if we can outswarm them. Like if I find every, Darius or Riven ever, unless we have
Just serve the greater good.
take 3 damage here if they open attack. Going to block everything if they open attack.
When will I find peace?
We have to play 2 units here for sure. Do we risk it and go for the Graf Grenadier, or do we think 10 of Terror is just better, right? Let's do it. Blocks Riven, this blocks this
I'll
guy.
show the hunters.
I'm just blocking everything, like I have to. Oh, not this guy, but the rest.
Their treat will be doomed!
No turning back now!
Doesn't really do anything, does it? Can just block it.
You will sing!
Covering fire.
Okay, it's just about surviving. So they get a bunch of Blade Vermins here. We just want to survive.
I failed.
There's nothing you can play here, so let's just pass the turn. Don't have any multi-region card to play either for the Tristana flip. Now it's on us to make something happen. I think I'm just starting with the Graf Grenadier.
Gather up and move out!
Didn't hit a multi-region card, sadly, but there was no other multi-region card we could have played. Scorched Earth. Ah! Yeah, this would have died anyways. Who is down? Run Riven is down. I think I have to wait with my Siphoning Strike until they actually play something that's really scary. Can't just wait on this guy. Be aggressive, play another unit out.
Would you look at this place?
They just have 2 cards and 3 blade fragments.
I always
Hunter.
catch my prey.
Okay. Let's just take this guy out.
Watch me!
Yonder I go!
I'm bluffing 1 damage spell. I didn't get the bluff, but scary.
Can't steer!
But
Definitely scary. So that's +3, 5. Might lose to Darius here, technically. We can still Siphoning Strike. If they play any slow spell, if they open attack. Okay, now they can't even play out all the cards they had. So they can definitely aggregate Anivia. Can. Doesn't this just win us the game? Yes, it does. Just make it sure. Get it out of the way. Block. We have a quick attack, we don't block, but
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Travel is, of course, its own reward.
For glory, you're mine. Came a long way for a bullet.
they just have 3 blade fragments in hand.
Remember me. Ugh.
Exploration and exportation.
I was saying exploitation, like the Ferengi. And if anybody who watches Star Trek.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead.
That's not going to be good enough, I hope.
Great, I'm loving this.
Pompous Cavalier.
I got big plans for this
They
place.
have nothing in hand, we know that, so we just go in. Bandle City OP. No, he is not prismatic. Why is he not prismatic?
Privateering? Good show.
They have to block this, they have to block this, they still take 9. Good game. Know what they have in their hand, but they literally can't do anything. So, not premature, we just know that it's 3 blade fragments. Nice. Yeah, the Siphoning Strike definitely saved us a little bit. Very strong deck from our opponent as well. And that's 7 wins. By the way, before we head over, I have to make sure my Kingpin is ready for the next round. This is actually my favorite Bandle City card. That's LeBlanc. You are Brando. Thank you for participating in this win run. Nice upgrade. Okay, let's take some look at the matches we played against opponents' decks and just review our expedition run a little bit. This was quite fun. I should definitely draft Tristana more often. First game versus Dipno with the triple region, Fizz and Lee Sin. And it seems they just picked up some packs and pets and some collective support, so a bunch of random buff spells. Overall, a very random assumption of cards. We have the Steel Tempest, Memory's Cloak, and Crystal Ibex definitely had to run this out earlier. Can't just wait for your one Lee Sin to show up to combo with it. And yeah, it was kind of close. The curve is really good. 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops, 6 drops, and a bunch of spells. So I would say a decent deck, but a little bit random in it. Then our second opponent. I'm looking forward to seeing how much avalanches this other guy has. Okay, double Anivia. Let's see. Okay, it barely had any failure in it. Interesting, I expected something else. expected more if they have double Anivia, that they have more value in it. This was very aggressive. Aristocrat, Onlooker, Power, Caretaker, Doombeast, Prankster even, triple Soul Spinner, double Rekindler. It's a very, very flexible deck, and even strong in the mid game with like Vengeances and Piercing Darknesses. So really decent deck, and we were lucky that we could overpower them. I guess this Crumble turn was a little bit weak. If they had played Piercing Darkness instead, we would have probably lost that. Interesting deck. Then we played against the Mono Bandle City deck. Let's find out how many Yordle guys they had. 28 cards. So 5 times the Yordle Squire, 3 Otterpus. And this is the perfect example, like I said it before. But this is the perfect deck you want to go for. Maybe that knocks this a little bit and Whirling Death, but this is the perfect Mono Bandle City Rumble deck. Really, really well constructed. Triple Octopus, 5 Yordle Squires, just all of the early game generating cards. And yeah, if you want to build Rumble, if you want to make him work, that's definitely the way to go for. With a little bit of interaction, not like the Event Horizon, but sometimes you have to pick bad cards. But yeah, very strong deck, and I think I would have lost that if they didn't disconnect. Very unfortunate for them, but nothing we can do about that. And Super Swade was next with the I keep no early game at all deck. So they had 2 2-drops, 4 3-drops. Yes, Tasty Fairfolk is fine, 2-2 split. And then a bunch of late game as usual. So it was more of the Battle Scars and Enlightenment bucket. And yeah, like this curve is very, very greedy. Sometimes you just run into aggressive decks and die. And there's not much you can do. And I don't really know what this opening hand was. I guess it was Trojan, Flash Freeze, Karma, and I don't know. So yeah, don't keep your spells in the early in your hand in the early game. Instead, you have to look out for units. Then our loss versus Coco Fleo. Very interesting this deck. How many 1-drops do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and they drew 1, 2, 3, 4. You see the whole deck. And yeah. 1 Naked Rain, 1 Strong Arm, triple Sejuani. So this is good, triple Sejuani. I still think this deck is high rolled against me, like with the Jagged Taskmaster and basically all of the 1-drops. And yeah, some bad cards as usual if you draft around. Bilgewater, you see some Sleight of Hands, Strong Arms, that just happens. Later around the Pali on turn 1 or turn 2. That was really nice. But it doesn't even show the... Didn't they have a warning shot? Weird. I also played a warning shot. But yeah, really interesting deck as well. And I deserved it with this draw. And then we can't see our Xoyom opponent. No idea what... Oh, it was the Bandle City and Ionia. The Kennen. No, it was the Kennen deck, yes. Okay, fellow son, how many avalanches do you have? 1. Just 1. Interesting, so they had picked Kalista with Braum and then or with Vladimir and then just hard moved into Freljord and stayed hardcore Battle Scars, double transfusion, 1 avalanche, and this 1 avalanche just got us. So I still stand behind my play. Imagine them just not having this avalanche, they just have Hearthguard or I don't know, Questkeeper in their hand, and this is a very hard to deal with. But yeah, this 1 avalanche definitely got us. And like I was a little bit confused by this Kalista. I thought this wouldn't just be hardcore Battle Scars, but it just is hardcore Battle Scars. So very good build, very strong deck, and GG to my opponent on that one. And then the LeBlanc and Akshan deck. Probably just a typical LeBlanc Akshan, triple Akshan, 1-drop. Only 2 2-drops, that seems wrong. I guess we have Akshan, so it's 5. And 4, they're very top heavy. That's something what happens if you draft this Reputation archetype, you just go very top heavy. and don't find enough early game. So that's kind of what happened. Also a low, pretty high spell count, like more spells than units, 17 to 14. It's a little bit of an awkward deck, I would say. Really relies on you to draw Akshan and loses to decks that play Mystic Shot, for example. Can work out, but luckily we were able to outpace them. And then our final opponent, I just expect a very, very aggressive deck. Let's see. Double Riven, of course. Oh, they just had 3 Blade Squires, what? So they weren't aggressive, they just drew all of their early game, I guess. And they had some random Viktor stuff. Mystic Shot, Death Ray, Thermo Beam, Ballistic Bot, Meandroid, Raza Guardian, so I would rather trade away these units. I like these spells. And just no interaction, just full on aggressive. 1, 2, 5, 7 2-drops. 1, 2, 3 3-drops. 1 4-drop. Double 5-drop. 1 6-drop. 1 7-drop. 1 8-drop. So yeah, pretty interesting deck. And they drew very aggressively if they had like more Armor Tusk Riders earlier. Don't know why they have double Arachnoid Hoist. That seems weird with like no spiders at all. But also a very good deck. I expected some more like Legion Drummers, some more Glory Seekers. This is still a little bit fair, but very powerful deck. Definitely can see this going to 7 if it doesn't face us. And that leads us to our deck. Open it up. Sivir didn't do anything, so Xerath sometimes came in clutch with the 3-4 stat line. That's just playable now. Tristana really surprised me. I didn't expect her to be that good, but she flips really fast, and I played her before and she didn't flip that fast. Maybe it's just like that we had more early game here. I do have 40 cards in my deck. I guess it counts the Bandle City cards double or something. Well, Elder Guardian, what's this keyword? Impact. Okay. So, Vodopo was surprisingly not terrible, like did some damage and then died. Kept up level out Tristana. Battle Squire good. Bandle Commando very good. Bomber Twins was also good. 4-2. We had to deal with Contrologist as usual, insane. Grumble Slug was surprisingly good defensively, just for blocking. Rockhopper, like if you think back on this Rumble game, we played the Rockhopper on the turn where they want to play Rumble and they couldn't. Arena Kingpin, Bandle Painter, Arena Kingpin of course insane. Bandle Painter also surprised me, has some tricks with the Augment. Of Grenadier, I think we hit every Allegiance. Pin of Terror of course very good, and Bruiser like as well. Didn't draw the Flame Spitter ever, I think. Master Shot was useful, this was useful. Yordle Contraption was pretty terrible. Didn't draw the other cards either. So there's a typical Yordle deck or Bandle City deck. Play aggressively, play early game units, and draw your Tristana every game like I do. I think we drew Tristana like literally every game. So that was quite good. And yeah, it works out. You definitely like more Yordles in arms, but you can go 7 even without Yordles in arms. Just by drafting a solid curve, solid archetype. And yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed this new editing I do on the episodes, like the educational series, and this one is what gets the most views, so I'm going to invest a little bit more work in it and try to make it even better for you. So, thanks for watching and see you next week. Goodbye.